Who are you? How did you get a ring?
My name is John Stewart, and if I told you, you wouldn't believe me.
When I first saw the trailer for this movie, my first reaction was, they're giving John Stewart Kyle Rayner's backstory. You know, last Green Lantern standing, Hal Jordan's dead, he gets a ring from a Guardian, specifically Ganthet, and now he has to find his way as the last surviving Green Lantern. However, does this movie just transplant John into Kyle's place, or is there any substance to it? Well, watch the video to find out. This is the 5th movie set in the new animated universe after Man of Tomorrow, and it's starting to flesh itself out a lot better. We have a Justice League, and now we have the Green Lantern Corps. John Stewart is a former Marine who is apparently suffering from PTSD. I know this is no spoilers, but this really doesn't count as a major spoiler, so it's here. So all of a sudden, he ends up with a Green Lantern ring and finds himself caught up in an intergalactic war. How will he handle himself? And after facing the horrors of war on Earth, is he ready to do it again on a more galactic scale? This movie reminds me a lot of a movie from the previous continuity, Batman Bad Blood, which took its inspiration from a lot of different comic book sources, though this movie doesn't do that much. There are a lot of cameos. If you're a fan of DC space area, whatever you want to call it, the space characters, there are a lot of them in here, and you will definitely get a kick out of it, like me just going, aha, I know who that is. John Stewart is played by Alan Hodge, who is set to play Hawkman in the upcoming, as of this video, Black Adam. And he does a decent job voice acting the character. I do feel that the movie sometimes underutilizes him, but he is pretty well utilized throughout most of the movie, so it kind of balances out. The trailers also indicated Green Arrow and Hawkgirl, or Hawkwoman Shia Rathal, to be quite honest. The former, I really enjoyed him. It has been a while to see this characterization of Oliver Queen, who is competent, a bit of an asshole, but he's coming from a right place, and while he does dismiss John initially, he slowly comes around to him, and he does have some big moments in the movie that I will not be talking about, because that goes into spoiler territory, and this is a spoiler-free video, mostly. Hawkwoman, on the other hand, is very much my people, revenge for my people, I will fight for my people, death befall those who harm my people. But she also gets to that point where she is not repeating that sentiment too often, so it does balance out in the end. And I did find her compelling once she stopped the my people part. At first, I thought the movie was trying to be unnecessarily dramatic by trying to hide the person behind the death of the Green Lanterns and the destruction of Oa. Like, ooh, who could it be? Who could it be? It's Sinestro. Sinestro, you showed Sinestro in the trailers. We know it's Sinestro. But that's not 100% true. It was Sinestro, but not just Sinestro. And I will leave it at that, because trying to explain it any further means going into spoilers, and like I've said it a few times, no spoilers, not talking about spoilers, so yeah. Also, what little you see of the Justice League in the trailer, that's pretty much all you're going to get in this movie. Sorry if you were expecting to see more of them. Though the other members are name dropped, so that's a plus. Now, for my final recommendation, how do I put this? I didn't hate the movie. I thought there are some decent points. It is entertaining, But I do not think this will be for everyone, especially if you're a fan of the Green Lantern Corps and if you have any idea about the stories this movie was based off of, you're probably not going to like it. If you were not a fan of those type of stories, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you might want to give it a shot. If you knew about the type of stories I'm referring to and are interested to see how they play it out, like I was, also check it out. And as for stuff like the animation, I'm really not the best person to talk about this, but I will say that towards the end, the fighting started to get a little bit stilted, which is very jarring because early on we see the constructs and beams and ships handled really beautifully. They're gorgeous, and Green Lantern constructs are created in a way which really pops out. It's very unique compared to how we've seen them in the past. So the sudden drop in quality at the end really starts to peter out. Although the constructs are still pretty fine, it's the people moving around that's the problem. But again, my opinion, and I'm really not an expert on animation. Voice acting's pretty good, but again, DC animated movie, that's par for the course. So, go check out Green Lantern Beware My Power. Or don't check it out, because I'm very certain a lot of people will not like this movie. But if you're willing to go into this with a bit of an open mind, you may find some appreciation for it. And if you're a Jon Stewart fan, to see him highlight his own movie after a long time, you might really enjoy it, especially if you were a fan of the character during the animated Justice League series when it was airing. So, yeah.
Let's go?